So tonight, we've spent some time talking about energy. The message tonight is twofold. One is that the American Clean Energy Security Act is being developed now. It's a sharp break from the past. It's better than what we have now. It improves the status quo. But progressive voices have never been satisfied with just doing marginally better. Progressive voices have always said we got to do way better. We got to do as well as we can do, not just as well as is what we might be able to scrape by with. And so I invite people who have a vision for a clean energy future to step forward with their proposals. The other point is that is not just limited to the bill. It's focused on the idea that this is an opportunity for basic civic engagement and real democratic participation in our society. As we are now having multiple debates, not only on health care, but also on foreign assistance reform, State Department, as we're talking about appropriation bills, which are probably going to keep us really busy over the next 30 days. The fact is we will be addressing this ACES bill as well, and we cannot allow the advocates for a clean energy, green energy future to not be a part of this critical conversation. So let me just go through a few more questions, and then we'll begin to wrap up for tonight. It's Thursday night, and we're gonna move on out. But let me just make sure that everybody who wrote in and addressed our website as we asked them to do gets their question answered. What can we do to make it easier for homeowners become self-sufficient with wind or solar power? We can support the provisions that are in the ACES bill, which address heavy polluters, give American entrepreneurs and innovators tools they need to stay competitive, which increase production of cleaner renewable energy sources, which reduce our dependence on fossil fuels, and create millions of new jobs. That's what and we can follow the new building standards, and we can follow the new vehicle standards. Why can't we create better tax incentives to businesses and consumers to use alternative energy? 4,118 people asked this question, and I quite agree. We need to take a close look at the incentives for businesses and consumers to use alternative energy, and I think that we can do better than we're doing right now, and I invite you to engage in that conversation. Essentially, the answer is the politics of the situation have landed us where we are now. If you want better, you got to get involved in the debate. Hawaii is looking for 100% clean energy in 10 years. Can every state be urged to push the limits? That question was asked by 728 people on Progressive Congress. Fact is, the states, much power in the states, great incentives in the states. Each state, all 50 of them, can get out there and set tough renewable energy standards so that each state can do well. And let me tell you, a state can be a laboratory for the nation. If states get out there and show that it can be done, that we really can have 100% clean energy in 10 years like they're trying to do in Hawaii, and say, look, we did it, you can do it, here's how we did it, we can really make it happen. So hats off to Hawaii for their ambitious goal. If you live in a state where you think renewable energy standards like this can be reached, we urge you to get out there and try to make it happen. Why are we expanding highways when rail transportation would provide greener alternative to commuters? I quite agree. 2,799 people asked this question on Progressive Congress. We appreciate you putting that question in. As a person who is really into light rail transit, bike paths, we're having this debate right now as we talk about the transportation reauthorization bill. This is a bill that's only reauthorized every 6 years, and I think that people should have community forums on this bill all over America. It's not just the ACES bill that can help us get into a greener, cleaner future, but also the transportation bill and other bills that are coming up can help us get there. This question, why are we expanding highways when rail transportation would provide greener alternative to the commuters? Great question. I agree that this is what we should be doing. I think that highways have been incentivized and given unfair advantage over light rail transit, and I'd like to see them compete on an equal footing. So let me just say, look, don't be afraid of the future. The future's coming anyway. Those who stand up and say, well, we can't have a bill that's going to help America get off fossil fuels and cut greenhouse gas emissions because it's nothing but a tax, understand that the folks who told you about tax and spend liberals and all that, look, we've only had a president and a Democratic Congress for a few months. This stuff wasn't inherited. You want to talk about spenders and debt accumulators? Those guys sit on the other side of this chamber. The fact is, the progressive future that this country needs is in the hands of the people who are going to help America get into a green, clean future. This bill, this ACES bill that's being marked up right now, that's already gone through Energy and Commerce, that is in the Agricultural Committee now, this bill is undone and needs the input of all America. People who have a progressive vision for America. People who aren't afraid of the future, and not people who cling to the status quo and what happened yesterday, but people who want something better for tomorrow and are willing and have the courage to try to get it. That's the progressive message for tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and Mr. Speaker, I yield back.